This is the Albatros D VA. The colors you see here are those of probably the most common coloration. For instance, Werner Voss would have been flying one this color. This is also the first plane that the Baron von Richthofen became an ace in. And it was also the first plane that he painted with his colors. He painted his all red. However, we have one here that is an example of, kind of his colors, but I don't think the white was on it. And I'll show you what that one looks like here. Okay, let's see here. Here we go. We'll get a shot of it. You can see the front part of it is red and the tail feathers are white and black. The plane had a really bad problem in landing and sometimes taking off, in that the tail had a tendency to get light and come around quite easily. And on landing, a lot of times the plane would just about get to a stop and suddenly spin around and tip up on the wing, breaking a wingtip, and possibly, if the ground was soft, flipping the plane over. It could be avoided, and what the guys did is they had the flight mechanics set up more throw on that elevator so that the normal throw was about here. Well, when they got finished with it, it was about here, which was what was necessary in order to keep enough down pressure on it so the plane wouldn't turn around in its own tracks after landing. It made it quite a lot more stable on landing. Anyway, I put a camera in the thing. Let me shut this off here. Okay, I put a camera in it, and you're looking out over the engine between the guns. And originally, right here, it wasn't smooth like this computer illustration. What it was actually a rocker arm shaft and all the rocker arms. And they were oiled through the rocker arm shaft, but it wasn't sufficient to use a valve cover on it. And so the pilot would get splattered with little beads of oil on occasion, but they had a tendency to run the valve train very cool as a result of it. So it was kind of a toss-up, a give and go kind of a thing. Anyway, that was the way that worked. And it was I believe a 6-cylinder Mercedes. And I've also made the camera able to pivot so the fellow could check his wings. You can see his hand there on the side of the fuselage here, and he could check it both ways that way. And it's a neat little plane. They're certainly worthy of their reputation. And actually, the Red Baron flew this plane more than he did the plane he was famous for, which was the Fokker DR-1, which was the triplane. And he had some astounding victories in this plane, as well as Werner Voss, and they both later flew the triplane. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and fly this thing, and you can get kind of an idea. First, we'll go over here and we'll fly it from the ground, and I'll land it, and I'll use the standard elevator setting on the thing on landing, and you can see how they're pretty unstable when they land. They like to kind of turn around, but I'll show you how that works. Okay, we're running here. We'll go ahead and take off. They're a good controlling little plane once you got them in the air, but on the ground they could be a real beast. They do all your necessary maneuvers and whatnot. We'll set this thing up, bring it around for landing. Get kind of an idea. Like I say, I'm going to give it the same amount of elevator they were normally set for, which the guys would change. They used to land them with quite a bounce, which really, you don't really need to do. Well, that one stayed pretty stable. That was an exceptionally decent landing. Normally I don't make that good of a landing. Get a little better idea of the color there. You see his arm up on the side of the fuselage there. We'll go ahead and fly it from the cockpit now. Let's see, let's give you a... Here's a controller so you can see kind of what it takes to fly one of them. How that camera works. It's kind of a low pass here. They would stay up on the wing pretty well. Not very sharply, but a pretty predictable little plane to fly. Stay on that elevator and it's pretty stable. Too often when you let off on that elevator, it doesn't want to stay very stable. And then once you get them over into the grass here, you want to get back on that elevator because they will nose over with the roughness of the grass. So just get back on your elevator. And you kind of have to give them a serpentine tracking so you see where you're going. Anyway, that's the Albatros D VA, and they're really a good plane. I put a traditional prop on it and done some changes to the control surfaces. I've got a lot more aileron working for me, and I went to digital servos on it, which helps with the handling of it. And they're a really good plane. They're a lot of fun to fly, and I can see why Voss and the Baron liked the plane. Most of the other German pilots thought they were old and outdated, but I think they were probably one of the most aerodynamic airplanes of the war. Certainly more so than the tri-winger, but a totally different purpose as well. So anyway, thanks for taking a look.